Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at how to crochet this little granny square. As you can see, the little flower in the centre stands proud of the granny square, giving a lovely 3D effect. I've used a 3-weight yarn with a 4.5mm hook for this little project. However, you can use any yarn type you prefer. It works very well in cotton too. Okay, so let's get started. So we start with a slip knot on our hook and chain 4. And then in the first chain, we pop a slip stitch. Then chain 1 and do 7 single crochets into that central part of the ring, working over your tail end as you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now you can see here that you have your first stitch, and this is the first chain you made. So we're actually going to work into the back loop of this first stitch here. And we're going to work a slip stitch like so. And then we need to chain 1 and single crochet into that back loop twice. And it's a good idea to pop a stitch marker. I use the little Kirby grip into that first single crochet there. And then we're going to work 2 single crochets into each stitch, but into the back loop all the way round. And the reason we're working into the back loops are because we need to make sure that this little front loop is left exposed, because we'll be working into that later. Okay, so once you've worked into all the back loops, I'll meet you there at the end, just here. So you can see here you've got the front loops exposed there, and this is the last stitch where I've put the 16th single crochet. We know that this is our first stitch. So what we need to do now is just do a slip stitch straight into there and chain 1 and then snip your yarn and pull through. So we should have a total of 16 stitches. So if we use this as our marker here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and weave this in off camera now so it doesn't get in the way. With a slip knot on your hook to start the granny square, we're going to pop our hook into any stitch and yarn over, pull through, and just pull through that loop there. Now we're going to start off making a corner. So to do that, chain 3 and then work 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Then chain 2 and work 3 double crochets into the same stitch again. Next we're going to skip a stitch and work into the next stitch. We're going to do 3 half double crochets into here. And the reason we do that is so that the corner and the side remain straight, so the stitch height's just slightly less with the half double crochets. Next we're going to skip another stitch and in the next stitch work another corner, which is 3 double crochets, 2 chains and 3 double crochets. So there's our first 3 double crochets, 2 chains and our second set of 3 double crochets, all into that same stitch. You can see now you've completed 2 corners and a side. So we just repeat this, skipping and then working, skipping 1 stitch, working 3 half double crochets into the next stitch. Again, skip a stitch into the next stitch, 3 double crochets, two chains, and once again 3 double crochets. You can see it's taking shape nicely now. So next we skip another stitch and go into the next stitch with 3 half double crochets. And then skip a stitch again into the next one, our corner, which is 3 double crochets, two chains, and again 3 double crochets. And then we skip a stitch, and this is our last set of 3 half double crochets now. And then we just find the third of our starting chains or building chains and then slip stitch. And you can slip stitch in the top of the next one, next double crochet, and then just slip stitch into the corner. And now we're going to make our final row in the mint green. So we'll start with a corner again, just the same as before, 3 chains, 2 double crochets, 2 chains and 3 double crochets. And then we don't do any half double crochets on this round, it's all double crochets. So you need a set of 3 double crochets in each space down the side, and then you work your corner as normal. So double crochet 3 times in each space. So that's 3, and directly again into the next space with your 3 double crochets. And then you're ready to complete a corner again and work around the sides. So you just repeat this all the way round, and I'll meet you when you've done your last set of 3 double crochets in this space here. Okay, so we're near the end now, and we just find the 3rd of our building chains and do a slip stitch in there, and then yarn over, pull through and snip your yarn, and then just pull through. Okay, so there's our completed granny square in the mint. And for those of you who are very keen and spotted this little error here, I've only done 2 double crochets there. It doesn't really matter, but just so to let you know, I noticed. Right, okay, so we'll continue now with the edging in white. So once again, you can start absolutely anywhere for this edging. So I'm going to start in the corner. I've got a slip knot on my hook, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then just secure like so. Then chain 2. Then do a half double crochet, and then chain 2, and then another 2 half double crochets. And that's how you do the corner for the half double crochets. And in our next stitch, we're going to work a half double crochet, and in each stitch along. To give a nice balanced edge. This is optional, by the way, so just do whatever. You may want to do single crochets, you may just want to join your granny squares together with white, so you may not need this border. So working into each stitch along, and then the corner again, 2 half double crochets, 2 chains, and 2 half double crochets. And of course not to miss this first stitch, which is just there, the top of it, and work your way round like so. Okay, so I'll meet you when you reach here. And next you just pop a slip stitch in the 2nd chain, and then yarn over, pull through and snip the yarn. Gently pull and then weave in, and this is how it's looking. So next we're going to be working the flower. To begin with the outer row of the petals, we're going to be working into the stitches either side of the sets of 3 double crochets and the corner. So let's get started. If you begin with a slip knot on your hook, and then pick your work up and find a little space to the side of the side double crochets. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through, and there you have your first single crochet. Next we're going to yarn over and work a total of 3 double crochets into the same stitch. And next another single crochet into the same stitch. Then we're going to work into the little stitch on the other side of the set of 3 double crochets. We work a single crochet and 3 double crochets. And then a single crochet again. Now we're at the corner, so skip over the corner, go into the next stitch with a single crochet and 3 double crochets. And a single. And once more, jumping over the set of 3 double crochets into the next stitch. Again, work a single crochet, 3 double crochets, and a single crochet. Skip over the corner into the next stitch, your single, 3 doubles, and a single. So you repeat this in every other little space all the way round. So you have a total of 8 petals, and I'll meet you when you reach the last little space. So when you've completed your last little petal, just join back in the first stitch with a slip stitch. Bring that petal forward, yarn over, pull through, and then snip your yarn and just give it a little tug. And there you've finished your little outer row of petals. Now we're going to work the inner row of petals, and we'll be working those underneath these front loops of the stitch we missed at the beginning. So we have a total of 8 of these. That one's hiding a little there. Another one here. So we have a total of 8. Okay, so I'll just fasten these in off camera, won't be a sec. So once again, starting with the slip knot on your hook, insert your hook under any of those loops in the centre. Yarn over and just pull through. Then chain 2, and do in the same loop 2 double crochets. Chain 2, and this time do a slip stitch in the same stitch. Next, in the next loop, slip stitch, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, two chains, and a slip stitch. Then in the next loop, exactly the same, insert your hook, slip stitch, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, all in the same loop. Oops. And 2 chains and a slip stitch. So repeat this in every loop around until you have a total of your 8 loops, and I'll meet you here. So when you've done your last little slip stitch from this petal, your 8th petal, just pop your hook underneath that very first petal, yarn over and pull through, and once again yarn over, pull through a loop, and then snip and just fasten off. Okay, so now we've finished the little flower and we just need to weave in these little ends. So that's all there is to working this little floral granny square. If you wished, you could actually work this inner row of petals first and then carry on with the granny square, but see how you get on, and just make sure that you fold your work like so you can access these little loops as you go round. It can be a little bit fiddly, but it is doable. Right, so hope you've enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. So in the meantime, do take care, and bye for now.